Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by mountains, there lived a young boy named Taro. Taro was a curious and thoughtful boy, always eager to learn new things. He spent his days helping his parents with chores, playing with his friends, and, most importantly, listening to the stories his grandfather told him every night. One day, as Taro and his grandfather were sitting by the small stream that flowed near their house, Taro asked, "Grandfather, how can I become strong and wise in life? I want to grow up to be someone like you." His grandfather smiled gently and said, "Taro, strength and wisdom are not things you find in a treasure chest or hidden in some distant place. They are something you grow slowly by facing the challenges that life puts in front of you." Taro looked puzzled, so his grandfather continued, "Let me tell you a story. Many years ago, there was a young man named Hiroshi who lived in a village much like ours. Hiroshi was strong and smart, and he always dreamed of becoming a great warrior. One day, Hiroshi decided to visit a famous Zen master who lived in a monastery at the top of a mountain. He believed that the master would give him the secret to becoming great. So, he set out on a journey. The path to the monastery was steep and rugged, filled with sharp rocks and narrow ledges. It was not an easy climb, but Hiroshi was determined. After several days of hard climbing, he finally reached the top of the mountain. Exhausted but filled with hope, he knocked on the large wooden door of the monastery. After a few moments, the door creaked open, and there stood the Zen master, calm and wise. The master led Hiroshi to the monastery garden. In one corner of the garden, there was a young sapling, barely a few feet tall. The Zen master pointed to the sapling and said, "Hiroshi, this tree is like your life. It is young and full of potential, but it needs time and care to grow." Then the master led Hiroshi to another part of the garden where a large, sturdy tree stood tall. Its branches were thick and its roots dug deep into the earth. The master said, "This tree has faced many challenges. It has endured fierce winds, heavy rains, and scorching heat. It stands strong, not because it avoided these challenges, but because it faced them and grew stronger from them." Hiroshi looked at the tree in awe, but the master wasn't finished yet. He then led Hiroshi to a part of the garden that was overgrown with weeds. In the middle of the weeds there was another tree, but this one was weak and small, its leaves pale and its branches thin. The master said, "This tree is weak because it was protected from challenges. It was shielded from the wind, the rain, and the sun. It never had the chance to grow strong. If you wish to become great, Hiroshi, you must not avoid challenges. You must face them head-on like the strong tree. Only then will you grow wise and powerful." Hiroshi bowed deeply, understanding the wisdom in the Zen master's words. He thanked the master and began his journey back down the mountain. As he reached the base and returned to his village, he felt a new strength within him. Years passed and Hiroshi grew stronger, not just in body, but in mind and spirit. He became a wise and respected leader, known far and wide for his courage and wisdom. Taro listened to his grandfather's story with wide eyes, taking in every word. So, to be strong, I must not be afraid of challenges. I must face them and learn from them. "Yes, Taro," his grandfather replied. "Strength is not about avoiding difficulties. It's about embracing them, learning from them, and allowing them to shape you into a better person. When you do that, no challenge will be too great, and no obstacle will be too large." Taro smiled, feeling a new sense of determination. He knew that life would bring challenges, but he was ready to face them, knowing that each one would help him grow stronger and wiser. just like the tree in his grandfather's story. As the sun set over the mountains, Taro and his grandfather sat by the stream, watching the water flow peacefully by. This story, Taro would remember, would guide him throughout his life. And in time, he too would become someone strong and wise, just like his grandfather.